Hey guys, what's going on? So in the video today, I'm very excited because in today's video, I am going to be talking about my fourth leatherworking project. This is a backpack that I actually made for myself. This is a Rolltop backpack, and the leathers used were cobalt blue Gen X leather from Acadia leather, as well as lemon drop Gen X leather, both from Acadia, both very eye-poppingly stunning looking leathers. This bag went a little quicker than my last bag. My last bag I sent to my buddy Dave, Boots of Manish Leather on Instagram, otherwise known as the Vintage Future on YouTube. He received it and he's been giving me a lot of feedback so far. So thank you, Dave, for taking it, evaluating it, loving it, using it. This time around, I decided to make something for myself. I wanted to use this Gen X leather. I think it came together pretty well. I decided to use all brass hardware on this one. So I went with number 9 brass rivets here, pretty large ones. I believe these are 3/4 inch brass roller buckles from Buckle Guy. And then I did the double enclosure again, Rolltop backpack. On the back, I did the tension distribution strap system again. We've got the anchor here that really anchors in both of the straps. So we've got tension distribution straps here and here that then connect to the hand carry handle. We've got this brass, this is a brass O-ring. I think I like the look of the O-ring a little better than a D-ring here for this center piece. And then, yeah, they're double riveted into the main straps, which I opted to make the main straps out of the cobalt blue Gen X leather. I think the lemon drop against the cobalt blue really provides a nice contrast. I think it's like a striking electric wild contrast. And then I talked about this in my last video, how I actually like to incorporate slight imperfections from the hide because I think it gives the item personality. So for example, down here, the tannery stamped some numbers onto the lemon drop Gen X leather. So I decided to make that piece visible. I didn't want to cut that out because I like stuff like that to be visible. I like, you know, little reminders from the tannery. Like I like little reminders from every step of the way, you know what I mean? I just think it's kind of cool. Then I did the outside flap again, just a simple outside flap. I would eventually like to start doing like full-on cargo compartments on the outside, but that will take a lot more work and a lot more designing and a lot more troubleshooting. So for now, I'm actually pretty happy with the outer flap just being an outer flap. Part of my idea with the design is just to keep it simple, just so that I could streamline it. That's one of the key things that I wanted to do. And then I took Dave's inspiration. He wanted the double enclosure strap, so I went with that again. I think it gives it a really cool outdoorsy sort of expeditionary type of a look. So the double roller buckles here, they're also double riveted down. I believe these are 15 rivets. They're not as big as these huge ones, these number 9s. So for the top, I mentioned this in my last video, on Dave's bag, I actually double riveted these seams on the inside of the bag. All 4 seams I double riveted. So he's got 8 rivets on the inside there, keeping the bag secure and closed. On this one, I decided to try something a little different. So what I did is I kind of took the concept of like a storm welt from a boot, and I just took a very thin piece of the lemon drop Gen X leather. I want to say it's about 1/4 inch thick, and I just punched holes and I sewed it in. And so I sewed it in on the outside for 2 reasons. A, this would, you know, pretty much do the same thing as the rivets do, like in keeping the bag super duper secure, because it provides an extra layer of support at the top. But also I did it on the outside because A, it's decorative. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it, but I kind of do. And then B, if I were to do it on the inside, it would run into these folds. So I didn't want that. So I stitched it on the outside, and I think it looks pretty good. So I think moving forward, that might be my way of doing it. I could change it, and that's an extra step. You don't have to do that at all, I'm finding. Like the thread that I'm using is Ritza Tiger thread. It's some of the toughest thread in the world. Heavily waxed, very tough, high quality cotton thread. It should never give out anyways, so reinforcing this top part isn't even necessary. I just do it because I'm trying to build stuff that could stand up to long-term use. So that's kind of my idea behind it. At the base for the straps, I did an adjustable Gen X lemon drop strap. I think this was about a ½ inch, or no, this is 5/8 inch. I did an enclosure roller buckle here just to adjust it. I double riveted that down at the base there. And so, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. I'm looking for names for it, if this is going to be something that I continue to run with, because I feel like, you know, I'm open to suggestions. So what do you guys think? Is Wild Blue a good name for this bag, or should I name it something different? Any suggestions would help. I'm still trying to figure out what to name the backpack. Yeah, Expedition Pack was going through my head. Indie Backpack was another one. My buddy Angel at Nobleman's Apothecary reminded me that was a name I had considered, the indie backpack, you know, sort of to pay homage to the adventurous spirit of the indie boot. The other reason why I wanted to make this bag was because I wanted to test out this Gen X leather. Now, it's about $125 for a side of the Gen X. It's very, very good quality leather. The one thing I will say though is that it does have sort of a shiny, waxy, almost plasticky appearance, and the coloration is very much, it's surface level. It's only skin deep. This leather is not struck through, so like if I were to scratch this, it would reveal the natural layers underneath. So that's one thing. So I don't know how it's gonna do long term. I expect it'll be fine. I don't know. I'm gonna test this out, see how it ages long term. I wanna see what Gen X leather looks like all beat up. Everything I've gotten from Acadia has just been amazing. So this is 4.5 ounce to 5.5 ounce leather, I believe. It's good for a backpack. It's good for this type of an application. I'm blown away by the look of it. I'm making myself this one, and then I'm also gonna field test another one. I'm doing an emerald green one. I'll be doing a video on that one here soon once it's done. That one's in the works now. So I'm gonna test this one and then the emerald green Gen X one, just see how they do. Overall, this is my second bag. I'm pretty pleased with it. It is very comfortable to wear. It's very hardy. It's very, you know, well fortified. Would you buy this? Is this something that you'd like? If so, if I do make it one of my staple items that I eventually maybe sell, please, any feedback that you guys can offer, I would deeply appreciate. Again, is this something you would buy? Is this something anybody would be interested in if I were to make it for them? What would you think is a fair price for that? To be fully open and honest about it, I put about $150 worth of materials into it, about 40 hours of work into it as well. Not to mention, I don't count the tools that I bought and like the time spent learning or anything like that. Like, I'm just trying to get like a transactional sense for like what people would pay for this. Would it be $300-400? Would $500 be too much? I'm still at a learning curve right now. This one did go considerably quicker than the Olivet Bison pack that I made for my friend Dave. That thing I probably put double the amount of time into, just because, you know, I wanted to really take my time, go slow. This time around, I kind of had an idea of already what I was doing. Not to mention, so for Dave's pack, I cut all his pieces using this Al Stolman brand round leather cutter knife. This is a great, great knife. It's a traditional use knife. It's wonderful. It's the mark of a professional. However, I picked this thing up from Amazon for like 10 bucks. This roller cutter, Fiskars. I got this one, and then this other one, Olfa. Both of these are just amazing. They really speed up the cutting process. I don't make nearly as many errors. I think there were some parts on Dave's bag that I had to recut because the lines didn't come out just perfectly straight. So I had to go back and cut over them again. And it's kind of hard, you know. In the video, you can kind of see my hands straining because you know, you got to apply a lot of pressure because this isn't a razor blade. Now this is a razor blade. It's so easy. It just glides through the leather, just slices right through it. It's beautiful. Is it robust? No. Is it expensive? No. Does it do the job? Yes, it does the job way more efficiently. And other leather makers have utilized these as well. So just a little leather making tip to people getting started. Get these things. You know, like this is awesome. This is what I sort of consider a badge of a leather worker. Whereas this is more of a, no shit, this is gonna get the job done. Like, you want this, you want these. These are all I've been using to cut lately, and it's great. It's sped up the process tremendously. So anyways, just wanted to throw out my little tidbits that I garner along the way, just in case anybody's watching this considering getting started or has already gotten started. I did lean heavily into the skiving as well on this project. Dave's bag, I didn't skive, so he's got a lot more material along the edges, which is good. I mean, that's more leather equals more durability, right? I notice a lot of leather workers, they skive their edges. It makes the stitching process so much easier, and it makes the bending of the leather along the seams a lot easier as well. So I've started to skive. I will note that in this bag, I did mess up in a couple areas. I skived a little too deep. So what I did was I took another piece of leather, just a support piece, and I stitched it over. I took a square piece, cut it out, and I stitched it over the area where I skived too thin, just because I'm neurotic about it. Like basically all that was left was basically the wax layer of the leather. I'm thinking, well, that's not gonna hold up. There's not enough fibrous structure behind it to hold it in place. So I decided to really reinforce. If there's any part of the bag that I'm questioning whether or not its integrity or its structure will hold up long term, I go back, I'll do 2-3 hours work reinforcing these areas, just because I want to make sure that it's not going to give out at any point in the future, because I know me and I know when I design it, and I know I'm going to be thinking about those areas the whole time I'm using it. So I said, you know what, it's better if you just reinforce those spots as they arise, if they arise, because when you reinforce it, you're actually making it, that area, stronger than the rest of the bag. That's what I found. So anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I'm done rambling for now. What do you think about this bag? I'm on Instagram. You can follow me there. My username is AeroSurferLV. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching. I will see y'all in my next video.